Hi everyone, I'm back on YouTube. I've decided to share my experience of returning to the guitar after 40 years. 40, earlier than 40 years, I had started playing several instruments. Not several, but a few. I did violin. Didn't like that much, but I was good at it. And then I went to guitar, which I loved. I begged my parents to have me go learn guitar, and the only teacher they could find at the time where we lived was a classical guitarist from Germany. So I learned the classical guitar. I was hoping to learn to be a rock star, but instead I was classical, and I ended up loving it. Just as many things in life that have initially been a disappointment became out to be a real gift. I used to come home from school when I've had a bad day and sit in my bedroom and play the guitar for 3 or 4 hours. And in that time period, I floated into what I call free space. I did really well with it. This time, though, I wanted to learn chords, just only chords, not classical, not add to my classical repertoire from years ago. And it's a different animal, but not. So I'm enjoying this. I've had a few lessons already, and my guitar teacher is a little amazed that I have picked up the chords so well, but I haven't. I haven't. So what I'm going to do is show you a song that I'm currently working on, which is Killing Me Softly with his song. And this is what I've got so far. See, this is a D, M chord. See? And then the next chord would be G. C. And by the way, that zzz shouldn't be happening. See, this is the one I have trouble with. Oh, I know why. This is supposed to be E7. What am I doing wrong? Now, A minor. F. G. C. A minor. D minor. G. F. C. F. B flat. Okay, now I will try to put it with the words. I say, I did it wrong. Oops, new beginner. I learned he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. And so I came to see him to listen for a while. And there he was, this young boy, a stranger to my eyes, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly softly with his song, telling my whole life, with his words killing me softly, with his song. Now, as you can tell, I'm still struggling through this early process of doing the guitar, but it still lifts me. I mean, I always feel joyous when I practice. Always, always, always. Even at the tough times, I feel joyous when I practice. You know how we all get tied up in what's happening in the world currently? That is so devastating to watch. And my thought is we need to raise our vibration. This is what led me back to the guitar. I really love it. Now I have to tell you, my guitar is beating me up. I have black and blue marks here, right here. I have black and blue marks on my legs. It's just because it's a hard piece of wood that's up against my body, which is not so hard anymore. And then I have calluses on my fingers. It's not an easy task. It's interesting because what my teacher was relaying to me is people who start guitar thinking they're gonna they think they're gonna, after a few lessons, be able to play like I just did, which is, again, not as professional as I want to be. But they won't be able to do that for a long time. I remember back in the day when I started guitar, learning the strings, and each lesson was dedicated to one string. So, say I had this. That's what I had to do over and over and over again till I knew the strings. And then the next lesson would be this. And I had to do these lessons over and over again. I wasn't playing anything except the strings and the notes on the strings. Because I happen to have a long memory, I guess, because I can't tell you that I came into this thinking I would know anything from before. It's amazing what comes to you after a long life. It's amazing what comes to you after a long life. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just making sure I'm playing the guitar. I have another song I'd like to play, which was one of my first, which I struggled with. One of my first this time around, and I struggled with it. Oh my goodness, did I struggle. And yet, after looking at this song by the Beatles was so much easier. Not perfect, but so much easier because the chords are very simple. That's what Beatles songs are. The chords are very simple. As you notice, I'm going through this. I'm trying different patterns of picking and strumming, and I think that part of me is much different or much less advanced than the left hand doing the chords, because what's happening there is in classical guitar, which I still have some muscle memory for. The first three strings at that time, my teacher taught me, were strummed with the lowest notes, the bass notes on the guitar. The other strings were attached to finger 1, 2, and 3. So I ended up with this. So if I had a chord, and I didn't know they were chords at the time, I just thought they were notes. That's a C chord in that kind of strumming pattern. I'm not doing so well with the strummings, but I'm getting there. So this first one that I learned was Let It Be, because I love the song and it gives me some feeling of relaxation, because there's something beyond us. So this is the melody that you start with. Sound familiar? So here I am with my picking. I find myself in times of trouble. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. And in my hour of darkness, there is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. As you can see, still tough for me. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom. Let it, gotta switch legs, be. So anyway, I've decided to come forward after all these years. You know, when you get older, people think that you don't know anything and there's nothing to pay attention to. And I thought, well, I want to feel young again. And that's not by, as you can tell, I don't do anything to my appearance. But I am feeling younger just playing the guitar. Even with all the mistakes in there, I am feeling younger and I am enjoying it so much. So I'd like to challenge you to pick up something you did way back in the day that you wish you could still do, and see if you can. Okay, now, before we go, let's raise our vibration. Imagine yourself with a white light wrapped around you. Imagine you and all your loved ones in this white light, just vibrating the energy and floating with it. Imagine you taking that white light and wrapping the earth with it and helping everyone else float within the white light. Then find yourself floating on top of the white light as it shines and lifts you above all the problems and makes you feel loved, safe, and happy. Take care of yourself. Really. I'll see you next time.